All right. Today's episode of Your Daily Scrum.
Little rockin' beats.
I'm professional Scrum trainer Ryan Ripley. That's professional Scrum trainer Todd Miller. We get together each and every day, bringing you the latest and greatest Scrum answers, questions, nonsense, mischief, whatever it is we're up to, we're bringing it. Todd, you are still at scrum.org, the home of Scrum. How's it going at HQ?
It's going great, Ryan. Good day today. We met our sprint goal, which is super awesome, super jacked up about it. A lot of hard work, a lot of effort involved in there. But in the end, it just feels good.
It does. Winning and delivering is awesome.
Boom.
You know, it's kind of cool that you're at headquarters. This question came in from a student. Like, here's the context of this question before I show it, Todd. A lot of students bounce between different classes, right? Mm-hmm. So some students will come over from Scrum Alliance and take our PSM II. Sometimes they go take the ACSM and then they come over. Like, there's a lot of cross-pollination of ideas, right? Mm-hmm. And so we love our friends on the other side of the aisle. It's great when students come and check out the scrum.org flavor. But a question we get a lot: why are scrum.org trainers so picky about language, right? So why are we so precise about saying events instead of ceremonies, daily scrum instead of stand-up? Why are we so careful to say that burn down charts and velocity are complementary practices? You know, we get this kind of reputation for being very precise about the language around Scrum. And I think there's some really good reasons for that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, to me, when I think of it, I think of a very, very fundamental reason, right? And I don't know if this is where you were going with it. And I hope that it's not whizzing that much in the background of with my microphone here. But subtle language changes can really cause changes in an organization and in the way that we are doing work, right? The way that we talk about commitment, for instance, right, is like we're fully able to commit to a team, to commit to Scrum. But when we start to talk about commitment and certainty and surety around how we project and forecast work, we don't want to show commitment that way. And like you were saying, a bunch of other things like daily stand-up, right? We call it a daily Scrum. Events, it's the events. It really never was ceremonies. It's really important because that language change, I think, is a catalyst to change in the way that we're working.
Yeah. Well, think about the word ceremony, for example. People say, well, the Scrum ceremonies. It's like, wait a minute. These are events. They're supposed to be planned. They're fit for purpose. A ceremony is a repeated thing. It's like a ritual. That's not what these events are. Like, they should be wildly different depending on what's going on. You know, same with a stand-up. A stand-up is a status report, right? A daily Scrum is not a status report. It's a collaborative planning event where we figure out how we're going to best work together today. All of these words have, to your point, just a subtle shift can change that behavior. And when we use the correct words consistently, we're all talking about the same things. How many times we run into a product owner who says, I'm going to go prioritize my product backlog? All right, what does that mean? Are you going to put risk on each product backlog item? Are you changing the order of the product backlog items? Are you putting a value? And so it gets obscured. But when we teach, you are ordering a product backlog, right? You are putting it in a discrete order. You're not prioritizing, because that implies everything's important, everything's going to get done. But the order implies value. It implies uncertainty. It implies changeability. Like, this is good. Can and will change. It's like a weather forecast. It's not written in it just changes
focus.
Yeah, it changes the way we think about this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really necessary, and it's also, I think, necessary when we talk about making sure that our language is updated with what new and greater information has emerged, such as changes to the Scrum Guide, right? The Scrum Guide was deliberately changed and adapted based off of the latest and greatest information from the world, right? And so I know we've struggled with a little bit. I know, I mean, me personally, I know you have too, in classes, when we say it's developers now, it's not development team. There is no awkward subteam. So it's not only just that we can change by subtle language changes, but making sure that we're talking about the most recent happenings and events and changes to things like Scrum or things like Kanban, right? I think that's really important rather than just hanging on to what used to be. It's easy to hang on to what used to be, right?
Yep.
It's easy. It's easy to do that. What we do isn't easy. Being a Scrum Master isn't easy. And so make sure, I think, that your language is always reflective of the latest and greatest and of those things that will help to be a catalyst and change in your organization.
You know, I think it's also, I mean, that's a good spot where we should have stopped, but I can't help myself. I think the consistency in the way that we all speak is also important, right? When you and I talk about Scrum, and when any of the other 300 some odd PSTs get together and talk about Scrum, we all know what we mean by the words we use. We're not providing our own interpretation. We're not putting our own spin. The language is consistent. The delivery of our courses is consistent. And I think there's value to the people out in the world for that, right? You're getting a consistent look at a very important thing, namely Scrum. Plus, when Ken decides, along with his Scrum co-founder to release a new version, it's I mean, how else could we be professional trainers? I don't think there's any other way to be professional if we're not actually adopting the new language that they've put forth. And so part of it's professionalism, part of it's consistency, part of it's making sure students are getting a consistent experience. But I think most importantly, the words we say have power and meaning, and we should be very intentional and careful and consistent in the way that we speak about such things.
Yeah, and I think the same applies to people watching this, not just trainers, right? Do the same thing in your office environment. The way that you can help to be a catalyst for change is consistency and new language, and work with other people to promote that.
Right? Love it. I think we'll end on that mic drop moment. There we go.
Keep on trucking, Ryan.
Keep on trucking. All right, end screen time.
You said as soon as you said mischief in the beginning of this video, I had the intention to say "keep on trucking" at the end, just to let you know. It's been in my head now for 7 minutes.
Perfect. That and more such nonsense are available on our socials. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss Todd and I goofing around on a video. Check out Scrum 101. It's a really good free online Scrum Master Framework course. Hey, watch the playlist, get your PSM I, go conquer the world. Check out the videos below, right? There's some other Your Daily Scrums that the algorithm's going to pop up for you. It thinks you'll like them. We do too. For Todd Miller, I'm Ryan Ripley. Go forward, do some great things. Focus on language. Really think about the things you say and why you say them, and how you could be a little more precise and how that might help your team. All right. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.